Hello and happy Monday, everybody. Here's what's coming up tonight on News Center Now. Cold medicine. It's usually, right now, easy to get. There's a chance it's not going to be so easy because of some of the ingredients. We'll talk about that.
We're meeting a woman in her 70s who works out of her attic in Maine, and she works for celebrities and royalty.
Plus, how would you like one of the most famous bands in the world to come to your prom? We'll tell you about that.
This is News Center Now. Some breaking news this afternoon. Governor LePage says he is suing Maine's Attorney General Janet Mills, claiming abuse of power.
Now, LePage says Mills has refused to legally represent the executive branch of state government because of her political views. The governor says that leaves all state agencies without legal representation. He claims her refusals to represent the state have resulted in legal fees in the hundreds of thousands of dollars paid for by taxpayers. The governor cites two executive orders on immigration from President Trump. One, he says Mills publicly opposed, and the second, LePage says Mills made the office of the governor bear the cost of legal fees for outside counsel. The Attorney General has not commented on the governor's lawsuit yet. Well, happy Monday, everybody. I'm Lee Goldberg.
And I'm Amanda Hill. Thanks so much for joining us.
This is something that we've all been talking about in the newsroom and on the internet all day long. A bad cough and cold could end up costing you a lot more than just some time off for work. There's a chance you'll need a doctor's prescription before you can grab cold medicine at the pharmacy. Now, we've been monitoring social media, and you have a lot to say about this one.
Yeah, there will be discussion on the proposed bill tomorrow in Augusta. You'd have to get the prescription before you could buy medicine with any amount of ephedrine or pseudoephedrine in it. That includes things like Sudafed D, Aleve, and Claritin D. Why? Those are two key ingredients used in meth labs to create the drug. Right now, those kinds of medications are behind the counter in stores, and you have to sign a log before you can buy them. But with the proposed bill, you would have to go to the doctor before you could buy it.
Now, looking through your comments today, most people do not think this is a good idea. David says, okay, so now I have to schedule an appointment, take time off from work, and send $250 plus out of pocket just to get a $6.99 packet of decongestant. Melinda says, I never use cold medicines anyway, but here we go again, taking it out on the regular person instead of the criminal. And Nancy's not so worried because she says most of the meds are no good anyway. We also spoke with the Executive Vice President of the Maine Medical Association today about this proposal.
The physicians that we represent are very skeptical that this would be good for patients. It would many times require an office visit, would require at least a phone call. I do have some data that suggests that this was required around the country, that in the first year there'd be 1.2 million new physician office visits for the consumers to get these very common cold medications.
Again, that proposed bill will be discussed in Augusta tomorrow.
Jessica here now with a story about a farm in Maine that got an unusual visitor and how the farmers see it as not just a sign of the season, but a special sign meant for them. Another spring on Grant's farm. Plenty of work to be done, but there's always time to stop and appreciate nature, especially when it walks right up to you.
When he came around the equipment and I thought he'd be spooked and run, he stood right there, flapped his ears at me, and walked up and started sniffing me.
The moose calf was curious and far from camera shy, and Ken was able to capture the whole encounter on video.
I found this moose. It's absolutely amazing. You know, you love being out here, being in touch with nature anyway, and then to have something like that happen, you know, it reaffirms everything, every reason you do it for.
A special moment, and one that Stacy Grant sees as a sign. This is the first season she is working the farm without the help of her husband, Rick. He died here suddenly last February at the age of 57.
We work together every single day, year after year on this farm. And to come back here and not have him here was hard.
That's when Ken stepped in and volunteered his time to get the farm off to a smooth start this spring.
I couldn't have made it this far without Ken. And I think Rick knows that, and I think Rick sent a beautiful message in that moose. I really feel like his spirit is here, and he's taking care of us.
It's a video that brings some comfort to Stacy and Ken, and one they will always cherish.
I think everything happens for a reason. I think that things are connected. I think people receive signs that things are supposed to be, and yeah, I think something like that really was.
Now, all Mainers are more likely to spot a moose this time of year, especially around the roads. The Maine Department of Transportation says moose are on the move. Crashes involving moose start spiking around this time, which you can see here in this DOT graph. They say moose often travel at night, making them particularly difficult to see, and they also travel in groups. The Maine Department of Inland Fisheries says there are two major reasons more moose can be seen on the side of the road right now. One is that roadsides tend to green up faster than other places, so moose will go there to get some food. Another reason is that the salt we use to get rid of the ice on the road in the winter provides essential minerals for those moose, so they head to that area. Officials also said you're likely to spot calves this time of year because as female moose prepare to give birth to another baby, she shoos away last year's calf. They can end up in some unusual places as they wander around looking for food, so keep your eyes open because you never know when you might spot one.
It was just incredible how he just went right up to.
I know, and it was kind of cute. I mean, it was really cute. All right, we took a vote in the newsroom today, and by a very small margin, we've allowed Keith to come in and talk about what we're going to just call weather, because this is just
weather. Ugh. Lee, you've been trying to shoo away your calf for the next one for years, but it's not working.
They keep showing up.
It takes like 18 years to do it as a human. All right, yeah, another kind of nasty day. You can see the rain starting to lift a little bit farther north. We actually had a little bit of snow across Aroostook County. Most of the reports were only higher terrain seeing that. But then again, it's the beginning of May, so you'd rather not see snow on the radar at all. Across southern Maine, if you look at it, you'd think, well, it's not raining, can't be that bad. The reality is we have drizzle, and a lot of that drizzle is not being picked up by the radar, and there's that area that was snow earlier across Aroostook County. All right, we have some flood watches in effect. These are basically in effect for areas that still have snow on the ground, so you're taking into account the snow melt and the rain on top of it. Those showers continue tonight, and then our next front comes through late tonight, early tomorrow morning. That's a cold front. Shower, maybe a rumble of thunder. Showers continue through the morning commute on Tuesday. I think Tuesday afternoon could actually be pretty decent. Temperatures in the upper 60s and a little bit of sunshine. Guys, we do have a major rainstorm to talk about, though, later in the week, so I'll be back with that.
Yay. Keith. Woo! Hey, so if it's rainy, you might want to go grocery shopping, and if you decide to do it over the weekend, then you might have noticed some empty shelves. A spokesperson for Hannaford says that the company is working as quickly as possible to restock the shelves of their stores. That's because of that fire that was at Hannaford last Wednesday. It damaged a warehouse and a tractor trailer, which stored thousands of dollars worth of inventory.
So since then, the company has placed signs at stores throughout the state. You've probably seen them saying, please pardon our appearance. Some product deliveries have been delayed due to the fire. This weekend, Vicki asked us, what is Hannaford going to do about the stores after the fire at the warehouse this weekend? Here's what we got. Hannaford spokesperson Eric Blum says there's no single answer to that question because it depends on individual store deliveries and sales volume on specific items at that location. Now, he goes on to say the weekend rush made inventory sink even lower, but they are working to bring more produce in. He says despite the shortage, there will be no price difference on inventory once it is stocked. Now, he also says we anticipate things evening out over the next couple of days, but I cannot be more specific than that. Many of you are talking about this online. I had friends like Chelsea asking if anyone had been to Hannaford yet this morning. She told me she walked out on Saturday because her local store had no fruits or veggies at all, but she was happy to see everything but bananas were restocked today.
Deborah said that shelves were low, almost no produce at all, and she had to go to Walmart. Vicki Jones jokes, well, finally got out of the grocery store for under $100.
So the struggle is real.
There you go.
Rami said, I just go without. We'll go back midweek for the rest. Others like Heidi had no problem finding what they needed at their local store in Lewiston. So
there you go.
Lewiston had it handled, apparently. Hey, from Hollywood to royalty to actual princes and princesses, when it comes time for the baby, they call a woman from Maine.
You're sitting at your desk and somebody like an A-list Hollywood movie star calls. Do you just stop in your tracks, or are you just like, oh, this is another day at the office?
I like it when they call. I mean, who wouldn't? But I don't go crazy because we've had a lot.
The secrets of her success coming up on News Center Now. Welcome back, everyone. We hear all the time how Maine's workforce is aging. Too many young people that are moving out of our state.
Yeah, so this week we set out to find the people who are not leaving, the men and women who've decided to stay. And as News Center Zach Blanchard shows us, they are thriving under 30. Hey, Zach.
Hey, Amanda and Lee. Yes, they certainly are. And we wanted to show you how millennials are choosing to stay here in Maine and doing big things. So we start tonight with a ship captain of sorts in Kennebunk. It's time to climb aboard.
I'm going in.
At 26 years old, Kylie Raymond is the captain of this ship.
And my dad and my brother restored the boat with a couple other people.
But she's not your ordinary girl, and it's not your ordinary vessel.
There are so many photos of this on Instagram.
It's an Instagram-worthy dining experience that can seat up to 100 people, all aboard the Spirit of Massachusetts, nestled right downtown on the Kennebunk River.
It was not easy.
But it was a family affair. Kylie and her father going to meeting after meeting to get the town on board. It's a process she says she learned a lot from.
Dad's like, if you can't go in the front door, go through the window. The window's closed, find another way.
Kylie started working at her family's restaurant in Marina when she was just a little girl.
That's what I do.
But years later, as she works to get the Spirit ready for its second season, I wanted to know what made her stay.
I love what I do, and I love the people I get to work with.
But it's not all work. When she's not busy juggling it all, it's about her friends. And she seems to find them everywhere she goes.
No, I'm from Maine!
After all, that's why she's thriving in the small coastal town of Kennebunk.
This is really just where I want to be. I have no desire or want to leave anymore. I made great friends. I found a job that I really love.
Now we'll bring you more stories like Kylie's all week on the Morning Report, and tomorrow, the 29-year-old city councilor from Portland who overcame some struggles and found success.
All right, thanks, Zach. Hey, so a video of a baby and a toddler being pulled out of a car in the middle of those Texas floods is making the rounds. We will show you more of it next.
And we will get wet and wild with Mr. Carson. Wait a second. What?
When Hollywood comes a-calling, the phone rings in Maine. Adrienne Stein here. Tonight, meet the woman in Camden who answers that call.
Okay, so let's just check this out here for 1 second.
There's a whole lot of snipping, stitching, and sorting.
And the little dust ruffle that goes with that.
In Carol Smith's attic.
Bumpers and blankets and all.
It's a small place that's the heart of one of the biggest luxury baby brands in the world, Lala Smith.
It's very high-end. It's very custom. It's everything is hand-cut and hand-stitched right here in this little studio.
Bassinets, bumpers, all things baby with a classic style or a dramatic flair.
Some of it is pretty theatrical. There's a little bathrobe because it's such good quality. And that's all thanks to Donna.
So what keeps you going here?
I need the money.
Hey, you're supposed to say you like what you do.
Oh, I like what I do, yeah. I'm a seamstress.
While Carol runs more of the business side, Donna is the one putting it together. It's just the two of them.
Our bassinets, sometimes they have great humongous bows and tulle with crystals and craziness. I mean, but it's, you've got to stand out in the crowd.
She stands out all right and has a clientele that would make an A-list agent swoon. Where is the phone that all these Hollywood heavyweights have called?
Right there.
That's it, huh?
That's it.
Yeah. Carol could be sued for naming certain clients, though People magazine lists Jennifer Lopez, Katie Holmes and Tom Cruise, Britney Spears and Courtney Cox among her customers.
But I have had movie stars call me here directly. It's an ego trip. I have to tell you, it feeds my ego. It does.
She's laughing now, but Carol started the company about 20 years ago after divorce and a death in her family.
I thought to myself, I just have to build something that I own, that I can control, that can't die or leave or divorce.
The lifelong seamstress found her passion using the most decadent fabrics she can find.
Is this the silk?
This is silk.
Carol encourages anyone to take a leap and give a new business venture a try.
If there's something that you really love to do and you get really excited about, just go for it. Just do it well.
Her best advice? Go big.
You've got to take it beyond the common. And it doesn't cost any more in time to make an alpaca or cashmere sweater as it does an acrylic sweater. So you might as well do it in cashmere or alpaca because you're going to demand a much higher price for that.
Carol may be in her 70s, but you can cross retirement off her list.
Never, never. I can't imagine it. I'd be so bored. I'd be really bored. I'd have to start another business. I would too.
And I believe she would too. Obviously, you see it's gorgeous stuff, right? What do you think it costs for a crib set?
$1,000.
About $1,000.
$1,000
for like the really, really, really fancy ones.
So
with
like
the
your
silk.
6 kids.
You'd be out $6 grand like that just for the crib bedding. Then you have the bassinets, the Moses baskets. But you know, I mean, I will say there are things for more price points now because her business had a bit of a bump in the road with the uncertainty over the election. Of course, the doctors, you know, recommended not putting bumpers in the crib. So she sort of reinvented herself and started making sleep sacks and all these bath accessories. So there are more price points for customers to get in. I'm not sure you're doing the Jennifer Lopez nursery at 15 grand or whatever it was, but
I mean, how inspiring anyway for her to even just
in her
pick
50s,
up and just do this.
Just do it. She is. She really is an inspiration.
Think you can put that on the baby registry?
No.
I think so.
No, no more babies. So no more registry. Okay. That takes care of that. Thank you. That was awesome. This, not so much. A video out of Texas that shows a baby and a toddler being rescued out of a car floating through the flood. Now, before we even show you the video, we need to let you know both of the kids are safe now.
Which is awesome.
Yeah,
yes.
It doesn't make this less terrifying, though. A group of people stopped to rescue the family after realizing that the baby and 2-year-old were trapped inside of a car.
Yeah, they say the rushing water made it difficult to open the vehicle's door, but they managed to pull both kids out of the car. At one point, the person recording the video put the phone in his pocket to help give the baby CPR. The man who shot this shared it because he says it shows strangers coming together and working together. Really nice, though, to have everyone come and help out.
Glad it worked out. We got to the point at the Weather Channel where we would get frustrated on air about people driving through floodwaters because it was so constant, and it was 12 to 18 inches is all it took to float a car away. So that's, you know, that much. People don't get it though. They don't see it.
No.
It doesn't look like enough water for the car.
It seems it's tricky. I've been in that situation when we've had flooding downtown. Just an area gets so flooded and you don't see it. You don't realize how deep it is until you're actually in it.
Yeah, very dangerous. And flooding is the #2 killer of weather over hurricanes, tornadoes. What do you think #1 is?
Snowstorms?
Earthquakes.
Heat.
Heat.
Heat stroke. They're surprising. All right, well, not going to have any heat problems up here in Maine over the next couple of days. Rain continues, particularly over northern Maine. Southern Maine looks okay on the radar, but a lot of it is drizzle, just not being picked up on the radar right now. We have flood watches in effect. These are for areas that still have substantial snowpack in some cases, mainly higher terrain. So the combination of the snow melt and the rain is the problem. I don't think we'll have too many problems, though. The rainfall rates haven't been all that strong thus far. Okay, so this was the warm front giving us the rain right now. Cold front comes through tonight. Showers, maybe a rumble of thunder through early tomorrow morning. The low hanging around on Tuesday, giving us some scattered showers around, although I actually think Tuesday afternoon will be okay, particularly along the coastline. And then Wednesday, an isolated shower, but increasingly sunny through Wednesday afternoon. Thursday is your start to finish dry day. And then here comes a nasty rainstorm for Friday and into Friday night. So hour by hour forecast brings you these showers and thunderstorms overnight tonight through early tomorrow morning. Notice there is some clearing though tomorrow afternoon. Temperatures jump into the upper 60s, maybe 70 degrees. More sunshine on Wednesday, and again Thursday is your sunniest day. I got to tell you guys though, I do not like the pattern going forward. After some rain on Friday night, it stays upper level low on Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and into Tuesday, which generally is going to bring us below average temperatures and some rain. Thinking about 2.5 inches of rain total here over the next couple of days. Extended forecast shows you that rainstorm on Friday night and into Saturday. Sunday looks like it'll be a decent day with just a chance for a sprinkle, but not an overly wet day there. Monday looks like some afternoon showers. Temperatures, though, stay in the 50s.
Hey everybody, I'm Katie Ortiz with your Social Stop. Not many people can say that one of the biggest names in pop music crashed their prom, but one high school in Illinois now has those bragging rights, and it's all thanks to just one single student. The Chainsmokers, they had a gig in Chicago on Saturday night, but for the many teenagers at Huntley High School across the street, it was the same night as their prom, which was a predicament for anyone who wanted to go to the show. So a student from Huntley High wrote to the band asking if they could drop by, and the next thing the principal knew, he was helping set up an unforgettable surprise.
I just can't imagine another school having such an unbelievable opportunity to have, maybe the biggest group in the country right now show up at their prom and give the teenagers, the best gift they could ask for, which is to make that night memorable for them, but then also it gave them an experience they'll never forget. We can't say thank you enough to the Chainsmokers who are clearly just good guys who care about their fans.
Alex Paul and Freeport's own Drew Taggart played a 10-minute set before heading off to their next show. And in a tweet that they said that your prom might be next, so maybe Freeport's next, who knows?
Well, I spoke with Scott today, and he said that next year's class of 2018 is already trying to see who they can get for next year out in Illinois. So the bar is so high now. They're next year, they're just, just be a regular old prom.
Right.
Without superstars.
Yeah.
We'll be regularly right back, I guess.
All right, today's Brain Drops. Amanda has asked me to add a disclaimer for people at home.
Yes.
There is a death of an animal in this. I don't think it's graphic, but
you don't think anything's
graphic. You can decide, for yourself. Okay, so here's what's going on. It's a deep water probe that they go down with into the ocean to see different parts of the ocean. They do research on it. So let's just roll the video, and I can talk over this because this is the whole thing here. So let's see the probe. Now watch a squid all right, so squid latches onto it, and then a giant squid comes and gets it and eats it within seconds.
What?
Wait, watch.
Oh my gosh.
So here's an interesting fact.
Squids eat squids?
Not usually. Giant squids eat squid. If there's only one species, there's a really long technical name for it, but it's been nicknamed giant squid for obvious reasons, as you can see there. And they will eat other squid. They almost only ever eat other squid when they think they're injured. So this squid thought that squid got caught on a hook, and that's why it did it. They're known for taking squid off hooks that fishermen catch by mistake, and these giant squid come in. And they actually will attack divers if they're scared, so they're creepy. Yeah. See, it wasn't that graphic. It was just
good
like,
on that. Yeah, you're fair. You're right. I'm sorry.
There's always a bigger fish out there.
News Center 5:30 starts right now.